Hey there, friends. Russ here, having Daisy Lever gun fun, and I just want to point out a little gun that I've had for quite a while, and it's been in pieces since I got it. Just decided maybe I should do something with it. Rather than try to customize this gun, I thought this should be one of the restorative little projects that I have. This is a Model 155, and the Model 155 had a couple little renditions. It was made from 46 up into about the mid 50s. Um, a couple of things helped me identify the time period on this one. Number one, all of them had a wooden stock. Now, there are a couple things about this stock that I really like. One is, and I'm going to try to show it to you here. You see the way this is marked? It's not perfectly round up here in this side. It looks like someone took this and was hand making the stock against a belt grinder. Whenever they got up to here, they kept moving it over. And it is the original stock, but I think back in the day, these are all hand finished, and it does have a little bit of marking here, and it has a little dent here, and it looks like someone may have tried to put an after the fact gloss finish on it to help protect it. So I think this gun may have been taken apart once or twice before. It still has the original trigger return spring on it because the trigger assembly on this is the one-piece folded trigger that we've all come to know and love. One of the things tells me this gun has not had a lot of use. If you take a look, these notches, which would be known as the sear on some of the other guns that have assemblies, this notch is not worn. It's not worn. It's not worn out. And I don't believe the trigger was replaced because where that engages, here, let me pick that up again, on the end of the plunger assembly, that also is not worn very much. Has a little bit of markings on here, and this is the side that was actually engaging. But to tell you the truth, this gun doesn't look like it's beat up too much. It does have the old original leather seal inside, and I took a look inside of the let's see if I can get a good peek in here and get my little bore light. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Here, I'm going to move the camera back a little. Give us a advantage. I need a videographer, that's what I need. Okay, but if you look down in there, you could just about see. Here, maybe I'll do it from the other side. If you look down in there, anyways, the original abutment washer is still in there. The abutment seal. So the gun obviously was played with, used quite a bit, but not enough to give it an incredible amount of wear. Like seeing that. All of these guns had a blued finish. This one, apparently the blued finish was taken off, and it looks like somebody tried to do something with the bare steel. Put some kind of a coating on there. I'm not sure exactly what that is. We're going to play around with this because I think I'm going to re-blue it. I'm going to give it a cold chemical acid blue to be able to protect it and get it looking the way it looked back in the day. Now, in the time period that was made, this came out with a aluminum lever. Originally, they were made with cast iron levers. This one had the aluminum lever for a short period of time, maybe 1 year, 2 years. They didn't paint the levers. They were just bare aluminum. This one has a coat of paint on it. Now, I can't quite figure if the original paint is still on here, because if you look closely, it looks like brush marks. I think somebody decided they were going to repaint the lever and probably did it with a fine artist brush and went over it, but when it dried, it left brush streaks on it. So this may or may not have had the bare aluminum lever. One of the things that tells us, again, about when it could have been produced, if you look at the top here, the roll stamping has a mark. It says model 155. And according to the Bible that I was reading, a book we affectionately call that, of course, Cass Huff almost named this the 55. But somehow it got to be the 155, and that's what the roll stamping says. It also says Daisy Manufacturing on here, and it's in block letters. Plymouth, Michigan, and it has patent dates, but does not have a register number on it. So if it had a register number, that would tell me it is in the latest rendition of the gun. This, we're figuring somewhere around 1954, 1953, in that area. I'm thinking probably 1953, but without knowing exactly what this lever was about, it's hard to get it any closer than that. Here we have the bottle cap. It has a little spoon, as I like to call it, on there. It's a nice looking little shot tube. I don't see any dings, splits, or anything in it. It has the original BB retainer in here. But on the front, if you look at the air tube, you can see there are some ridges in here. And the rolled joint on here, they roll their joints. No, if they have the joint from rolling this together, it's pretty prominent. So I don't know if that's a problem. I think it's still going to give us probably the amount of pressure the gun was made with. But if you look at the tip, it's slightly mushroomed. Ever so slightly. I've run into that on an awful lot of these guns, especially the older ones, because the thinness of the wall on this doesn't lend itself well to sticking the BB away from its mooring inside of here. After so many hits on those BBs, the BBs are steel, this is steel, the BBs are hard, this is thin, something has to give way. And I bet you if this was used much more, it would have had a more prominent mushroom effect on there. Now I can dress that down a little bit so we don't get too much distortion going through that washer at the abutment, but it's not too bad. My inclination here is not to take it apart and replace the seals inside here and on this, because if my guess is correct, this has not had a lot of wear, and these seals will probably work. I'd love to know exactly what condition this spring is in. In fact, I think we ought to just pop that spring out of there right now. We're going to take this, run it down. I'm going to push, I hope. I can't get that out of there yet. I know, why am I not using my spring compressor? I guess I'm just stubborn that way. It's almost ready to come out. Maybe I will get my spring compressor later and pull that out. If the spring's in any kind of good shape, because it's a 27 coil spring and it's in a configuration that doesn't look too warped, this area right here may have something as I'm looking at it. Sometimes the end of these have a little kerf to them. But the rest of it looks pretty good. If the spring's in any kind of good condition, to be able to keep the gun in its original format, I think I might just keep that in there. I'm going I'm going to soak and do a little dressing with this leather seal. And it would be really nice to be able to say this gun's all original on the interior. Of course, the little spring retainer acts as the rear sight, has a V-notch on it. So there you have it. This is a 155, and it is one of the economy models they came out with post-war. None of these, as far as I could tell, were produced before World War II, and this gun went into production and was sold in probably a 6 or 7 year period after World War II. Okay, friends, if you have any comments, if you have any of these and you've seen any problems or issues that you want to overcome, give me a holler. Like to have you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and we'll be talking to you soon. Stay safe. Have a great day.